Hey guys, Romie here. Please like, comment, subscribe if you're a first time viewer, and if you're a returning viewer, thank you very much, and please like and comment on this video. This is my recap, my review for Big Brother 18, episode 26. Yes, episode 26. And the episode starts off with, of course, Victor nominating Corey and Paulie. And if you guys really need to watch, I don't have access to the live feeds, I'm not paying for that, but I do follow the social media accounts that give you a minute by minute blow of what's going on in the house. So I already knew how bad things were for Paulie, and this episode really just cemented his worst fears. And essentially Paulie wants to know, like, what's going on. Why is it that his boys voted, well, technically voted him and Corey up for eviction? It's like, we're supposed to be a group of 5, and I know you guys have brains, but you're borderline spineless, so you're not going to do something unless you feel like you have the support of others, with the exception of Victor. But I know that there's something sketchy here. So Paulie needs to figure out, wait, so we were supposed to be a team, we were supposed to be cool, it was supposed to be the 5 of us, and then you go and flip? And the funny thing is, Nicole wasn't a part of that 5-person deal. She knew about it, but she wasn't a part of it. So she was just like, wait a minute, are the guys really arguing about a deal that I technically wasn't a part of right in front of me? Like, is it really that bad this season? They're just so open and honest this season, even with them being sneaky. It's weird. It's weird. Like, I appreciate it because I'd rather be on a season like this where I could actually tell the truth and no one would be mad versus other seasons where you can't. But it's just hilarious how Paulie actually thought that Victor was going to give him some type of, he's going to really go and stay true to his word regarding him not putting Paulie up, when, because that's Corey's thing. Corey's saying, you know, how dare you put me up when we decided that we were going to work together. I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, with the exception, Victor was right, with the exception of Paul, that guy over there, none of you voted to keep me in the house. So why would I really help any of you? Why would I do that? And it's just like, when I was on the block, did I complain? Did I, cry? Did I moan? Did I nitpick? No. I took it, accepted it for what it was, kept it pushing. Why can't you do the same? And he's right. He's absolutely right. Paulie, because he's not in control, because he's not in power, he feels a certain way about it. And because he feels a certain way about it, he decides he's going to go and try and blow up other people's games without intentionally doing so. And he calls out Paul in public. He's just like, Paul, it's interesting how, you know, did you know about this? Did you know about this? Of course Paul knew about this. Nicole went back to Natalie and Big Meech and was just saying how the guys, they were in an alliance from what I'm hearing, and it's pretty much blown up now. It's just like, oh my gosh, this so sucks. It's just like, and the girls keep getting voted out. What are we going to do about it? You should have thought about that a couple of evictions ago. If your girls were smart, you would have kept Zakia. Evict Paul and keep Zakia. That's how you do it. And I'm still upset about that. Anyway, Paulie confronts Paul, and Paul is lying. Just lying, because Paul knows that right now he has to remain calm, cool, and collected. He can't have Paulie blow up on him. He can't have Paulie mess up his game. So he lies, and then Paulie phrases a question to where, again, this is the season of people do not know how to lie effectively. They're so afraid of, oh my gosh, if I lie to this person or flat out lie to them, then it's going to really bite me in the butt. I'm like, you're stabbing them in the back regardless. At least be honest to their face, even though technically you're stabbing them in the back by admitting that you were honestly stabbing them in the back. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. But Paulie realizes the way how Paul said, you know, I would have to see how the cards lay when he asks if you'll keep me if you get the veto. So Paulie knows what it is. He goes and talks to Corey, and he starts crying because he feels bad. He knows that, he realizes they're after him. They're not after Corey. It's his fault that Corey's in this predicament. It's true because he is guilty by association. No one really sees Corey as a threat. And because no one sees Corey as a threat, they're, the only thing is they're going after Paulie's people. They took out Zakia because they were saying that's a number for Paulie. So now it's time for the veto nomination ceremony. And guess what? Victor pulls out Paul. So Victor's happy because he's like, that's my number one. Paulie picks out Nicole because he's thinking, okay, at least we have someone kind of on our side. He asked Big Meech if she would go and play and pick him, pull him down if he won. She said, no. And everyone laughs because they know it's true. And again, I appreciate the honesty. I really do. Now, the last person who gets picked is James. And again, now Paul is going and talking to James, Natalie, and Big Meech and saying how we need to devise a plan. We need to go after Paulie. We need to rattle him so that he's unprepared for the veto competition. And that's when I truly realized Paul is running this house. I told you guys weeks ago that this would happen if people kind of forgot that he was in there. And that's exactly what he's doing, because he's not floating. It's just that he's not winning these competitions. Because he's not winning them, he's not winning some of them on purpose. Let Victor win. Let Victor have the ball in his hands. Let him go and smooth talk Victor into realizing, no, that's okay, that's good. Like, really? So he devises a plan. Why don't we go and call Paulie out? So while they're all around the table, they decide to gang up on Paulie. How it first starts off is Paul is glaring at him, and then Paul's just saying how it's not cool that you called me out, bro. We're supposed to be close, but clearly that's not the case. And as a matter of fact, the real issue is that because you don't trust me, and I know you don't trust me, I can't trust that if I go and save you, that you'll actually save me. Now, the next thing that we had to deal with is Big Meech. Big Meech was just like, don't look at me, dude. Like, what's the problem? I blew up your game weeks ago. And Paulie was trying to say, this is all your fault. This is like, oh, it's my fault because I exposed you for who you are. Then we have James coming in and saying how, well, you know, you were messing with my girl and you were doing the ultimate disrespect. I would never do that to Sakia and disrespect you like that in front of her. And Paulie's like, I'm a flirt. We all flirt. It's not a big deal. Natalie was talking about how Paulie talks about her fake boobs and all that. And again, how they did it was amazing for TV purposes, but you have to realize when you're getting up on someone who's not dumb, someone who is analytical himself or herself, they're going to realize that you're trying to run game on them. And that's exactly what happened to Paulie. They were trying to get Paulie riled up and have him feel super emotional, which technically, we can debate on if it actually really worked or not, but Paulie caught on to what they were trying to do. Now, while everyone's asleep, Zingbot comes out. My voice cannot get as high as it. I feel like the Zingbot is like an extra octave or two higher this year. It was like, Zing! Zing! Ooh. Damn. I have 2 more videos to do. I need to stop that. Now, Zingbot was not playing around this year. But for Victor, talks about how there's no words in the English dictionary that can describe him, so we're going to go with El Stupido. For Paulie, it was he has so many sayings and words. One word that people want to say to him but don't say it is shut the F up. And of course they bleep shut the bleep up. That's how it actually was. It was like shut the bleep up. And people were cackling. For James, it was just like not sure if Natalie's parents would approve. For Corey, it was, yeah, sorry, but even if you guys were to possibly get married, you and Nicole, no one can replace Hayden. Zingbot was really mean to Nicole now that I think about it. For Paulie, it was just like, yeah, you're basically everyone who says that you're not as attractive as Cody, you're not as smart as Cody, you're not as anything compared to Cody, they're right. It was like, guess what? We have some baby announcements. Yeah, a baby who cries, who pukes, super emotional. Oh wait, that's Big Meech. Now, the way how they delivered that was amazing. For Nicole, I forgot what they said about Nicole, but essentially, oh yeah, it was, you know, in Big Brother 16, there's no chance of you winning. You threw your game away for a showmance. You're basically irrelevant, boring. And guess what? Oh wait, that's that's Big Brother 18. That's this season. Zingbot was ruthless. Zingbot clearly got its jokes from social media, because you can't tell me that that wasn't a social media infused intern that wrote those jokes for this year. Now, they have a huge presidential Big Brother campaign, and basically they have catapults, and they have to land their little beanbags in the 50 states. Now, the 50 states are renamed. So, for example, California, as far as California, Zing-tucky instead of Kentucky, Washington D. Zing, Zingaware, you know, you name it, all of the 50 states. And so the goal was to have the biggest number, or make sure your number was larger than anyone else's during each round, because at the end of that round, the person with the smallest number that they landed or out of bounds will be eliminated from that round. Now, of course, Paulie and Corey get knocked out, and the thing is that the first person who was knocked out was Paul, and Paul got the power veto. Yeah, and so, long story short, Victor wins another competition, so Victor is the HOH, and Victor also gets to have the power veto. This kind of looking familiar? Well, just get used to this type of concept, because you know this is going to continue until they get out people like, actually after Paul leaves, that's when blood's really going to be shed, because aside from the couples, Victor, he may have a little issue actually, but he has Paul as well. So if Paul doesn't win, then it's going to be, and Victor doesn't get the co-HOH America BB care package, they're both going to be on the block. You know, that's just how it's going to be. And this competition was really cool, because aside from all the presidential memorabilia, Zing for president, it also had, it was very patriotic, and every time they did a different round, it was like, Zing! Lord, that hurt. Why was it they kept going through different scandals? Zing in a compromising position with a call girl in the bathroom. Zing with the intern on the desk. I'm like, no, they are not trying to go and put out real life events, but pretend that they're not. They are not trying to do that right now. They are not trying to do that right now. And some of the punishments include the Secret Service one, where you have to be dressed up as a Secret Serviceman for the week, and you have 5 checkpoints that you have to cover, and you have to pat down everyone. And that's a thing that Paul gets. James gets the $5,000, and I didn't notice it or really think too much of it, but James didn't take the veto away from Paulie when he got knocked out. And that's interesting, because you would think that for everyone's game, see, James is really trying to do the most to not get the minimum amount of blood on his hands. James and Paul are very, very similar games, except for Paul is less obvious, and Paul isn't attached to someone else. So there is that. And Corey, he has to dress up as Corey the All-American, dressing up as Abraham Lincoln, pretty much, in this red, white, and blue Abraham Lincoln-esque attire. And I'm thinking, they really gave Paulie, they really gave Corey, of all people, this. Paulie has to bake a cake, what do you call it? Bake for the rest of the summer. I think that's actually what he has to do. He has to bake a apple pie for the rest of the summer. They're trying to be very patriotic. We see Paul going and doing his job. He has to wake up constantly to go and pat people down and check the 5 points. And then we're in the kitchen, and while Paulie is baking a cake, you don't cook a cake, cook a pie. You don't cook a pie, you bake a pie. And he has to also swing this Zing for president flag around. Paulie starts talking, and he just starts to break down, starts to cry, and I think it's Natalie or Big Meech gives him a hug, and everyone walks away aside from them, because they start to feel bad, because they realize, oh crap, Paulie is a person, isn't he? Paulie is a person, isn't he? And so, because of that, that made them feel really bad. They're like, we're not trying to make the dude feel bad. We just want him out. And it's interesting. Now it's time for the veto ceremony. You have this the weird situation of the music comes on, which means that now it's time for Paul to go and pat down everyone. So that was an interesting twist. And of course, you know what ends up happening. They give their speeches. Paulie's really disappointed. He just looks like he's really defeated. Guess who decides not to use the power of veto? Victor. Duh, like we didn't already know that. So now it's time for Paulie to, you know, throw in the towel. Paulie's such a sore loser. He's just like, well, you know, I might as well just leave now because I don't want to go to jury. There's no one in jury for me. Corey's just like, I have to do what I have to do to stay here. You'll see what that means because I already know what's going on in the house right now. Please like, comment, subscribe. Oh, from August 18th to August 27th, I won't have new videos up. On August 28th, that Sunday, I'll have all of my reviews up. Lord, I'm going to be so tired going to work on Monday because the VMAs are on that